Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I got some more Fallout 4, and this time I'm going to be covering every single mod that I, myself, and only me can't play without or consider essential. But honestly, most of these mods you probably should have in your mod list anyway, so make sure you hit that like button down below and let's dive right in. Oh, and one more just quick thing, I am on old gen, I haven't upgraded yet because I'm waiting on Bethesda to stop updating things, and also for Fallout London. So firstly, we're going to start with environmental mods, starting with, of course, you probably guessed it, is another pine forest. This is my beloved forest mod, and I searched for months just for it to come back to this one, because while it is lush with still green areas, it still has barren landscapes and also doesn't destroy my FPS. I know you guys probably like the mod A forest more because it's more dense, but this is my go-to, and I will always have it in my load order. And also, yes, this is compatible with Xbox and console. It's pretty much what I'm going for here. Also, one quick note, I am getting a new mic. Not sure if it'll get here before the end of this video, but if my voice changes drastically in the middle of this video, that is why. The next environmental mod you're going to want to grab is NAC-X. This one is also on Xbox, coming with dozens of new weathers for you to choose from. This is my personal favorite weather mod, but if you want to save space and headache, I highly recommend Vivid Weathers. That one is amazing for Xbox, but definitely I prefer NAC-X. But that's my personal choice. Pick your poison. As for water, I personally have two choices that I combine, which is Clean Water of the Commonwealth, just to clear the rats from my water, since I also have Healthy Looking Animals, which is a mod on Discord. And I replace the textures with a mod called Wet. And because I'm on PC, I can pretty much combo these together for a pretty simple thing. So pretty much Clean Water just removes the radiation, while Wet is all the textures for this. And both are on Xbox, but unfortunately you can't really combine the two like I do on PC, so I definitely recommend to just go with Wet for better textures, and also keep the radiation in your game in case you're doing a survival playthrough. But if you're on PC, I recommend to at least give the combo a try and see if you like it, or let me know if I'm crazy for trying it. And I'll be honest, there is a lot of things I would prefer to add to this list, but I also want to make this so Xbox users can also use these mods if they want to, especially with another Pine Forest being almost 500 megabytes. So we're moving on. Next, we're going to tackle the biggest part of this list, the gameplay mods that I absolutely have to have in almost every single playthrough, minus the ones relying on script extender, which definitely isn't a lot, so we're going to lock in here. The first mod up is a big one. This mod is called Equipment and Crafting Overhaul, the Redux version. This mod expands on a crafting system, allowing you to pretty much use creative mode in Fallout, letting you change the damage on weapons, portable workbenches so you can change up those weapons pretty much anywhere. And it also pretty much lets you change up any weapon in vanilla and mod add it to whatever you want. It's absolutely essential for me, but if you're on Xbox, I can definitely see you skipping this one though, because you probably prefer to keep things simple, and that's why you haven't moved to PC yet. And just one more mod to pair with that in case you did decide to get Eco Redux, you also want to grab Legendary Effect Overhaul, or Leo, which lets you change how legendaries are implemented into your game, and also lets you swap legendaries out for whatever you prefer in the workbench. This can be an Eco Workbench, which is called the Universal, or regular vanilla weapons workbench, or even the armor workbench, which just means that this mod is very universal and an absolute must-have. But honorable mentions to the new Equipment Overhaul. This mod is optional, I use it because I want to, but it just lets you make armor invisible so you can wear what you want under your armor without it being covered up by ugly armor. It does a bit more, but that's my favorite function of it, but we're gonna move on. Now we get into some miscellaneous gameplay mods that I absolutely must have, like Me Up Redux, and yes, this is on Xbox, even though it took me a while to find it honestly. But this mod allows for you to completely change the way that you play Fallout 4. Letting you be just about anyone you ever wanted to be with this alternate start part. But there's also dialogue edits that accompany these changes, meaning that if you didn't do the vanilla startup, your character may react differently than if you actually did the startup. I mean, that's optional though, you can choose whatever start you want and still follow the vanilla path, but then I don't see a point of actually doing that. But if you do consider that one a little too much, you can use the alternative mod, which is SKK Fast Startup, which basically skips all the intro prologue and pretty much starts you right outside of Vault 111, just so you can continue on your adventure. It's a pretty quick and simple mod, but I still recommend Me Up Redux. And now we're moving on to another mod named Bountiful Hunter. This mod is a simple auto loot and kill reward mod. Every time you kill something, you will be rewarded caps and you will loot everything essential. Only from dead NPCs though, alive ones it doesn't work. But this is configurable with the hollow tape in your inventory. You can pretty much turn off everything. You can turn off the cap rewards and just keep the auto loot, or you can do the reverse and just turn off the auto loot and just get the caps for killing NPCs. This is highly configurable and simple, and a must have for me specifically because I get tired of looting everything and then taking it to a vendor who could only buy 1/10 of the items that I just looted. So this is pretty much a simple solution to my problems that still make me work for it. Not everything is handed to me. And in case you were looking for a super simple, unnecessary mod, there's faster terminal display. This mod speeds up the terminal display by at least 20 times, so you don't have to waste your time waiting or spam clicking just to make it load faster. This is just one of those mods that fixes a certain headache with Fallout 4. Another miscellaneous mod that I use is called Bullet Time. This mod's a slow time effect when a specified hotkey is pushed. The slow time has variance though, from just a little slower than normal to almost a complete stop like VATS. This won't completely replace VATS though, maybe in your mind it will, because you can use them alongside each other, which is actually what I do. I find the most useful hotkey for this mod to be M3 since it's right next to the other gun buttons, but to each their own, especially since this is available on Xbox too. And maybe I am jumping all over the place, but the next mod I absolutely have to have for my combat is Cross Crit Gore-Verhaul. This just changes those piles of goo you would see when you get a crit attack with the plasma or laser weapon. Now they will burn, and you will see skeletal remains, just making it that much more realistic. This isn't going to change your combat or buff laser weapons, so it should be compatible with most combat overhauls. This is completely cosmetic. Unless you use a hollow tape to turn on always cross crit deaths, then it will always turn into a skeleton, which still shouldn't affect other mods for compatibility reasons, but I just thought I'd mention it. The next mod that I always end up using is NCR Outfit Pack. I have to at least mention some armors, right? But this mod has grown on me ever since I started playing New Vegas. Before it just looked cool, so I used it, and now it's just pretty much a mainstay in my load order. But I do want to say there is multiple mods for the NCR armor, so you want to make sure that you grab the Outfit Pack, not the Veteran Ranger armor, because that one is totally different. I mean, it looks the same, but it's different. Because this one adds a lot of variety with the Ranger armors, allowing for you to mix and match pretty much every part of this armor. To obtain these though, all you have to do is go to Fallon's basement and buy the plans. Then you can take it back to your sex dungeon and make them. And one more plus to this mod over the NCR Veteran Ranger armor mod is this mod is smaller in download size, so that means more mods for you to add on top of this, because this one is only 75 megabytes. So it's pretty much a win-win, but that mod is great also. Another armor mod that I generally use isn't even for myself, but this mod is called Diamond City Guard Overhaul. I've been using this mod since it came out, and I quite literally can't go back to the normal guards anymore after this. This armor overhaul for a small size of almost 4 megabytes completely changes up their armor, but keeps that vanilla feel, and the director cut, which is the optional file right under the main one, adds optional headgear diversity. The normal one doesn't, they just keep the regular headgear, which is automatically included in the Xbox version, so I highly recommend to at least try this mod if you don't use the mod to turn them into a modern tactical unit. And for the people that actually do love modern tactical armor, the one that I use is Post-Apocalyptic Survivor. This is a small download of 35 megabytes, but the textures on this is amazing. And I can actually see this being used in Fallout 4, maybe something you'd find from a soldier in a bunker when the bombs fell. Even though it isn't really lore friendly, it definitely doesn't stand out too much from the other clothing and armor in the vanilla game, which is pretty much what I aim for when I use the armor or clothing mod, and this definitely fits that. Even though it still is more of a modern and tactical, this is usually what I go for. And while we're on the subject of armor, I figured I'd showcase my top 2 favorite power armors. The reason I'm putting a disclaimer right now is because I can actually go without these, but I feel like it wouldn't be a video if I didn't at least mention these. So the first mod up is the T65 power armor. Adding in a new type of power armor into Fallout 4 that can easily be found. It can be found just outside of the castle under the water, which makes it very easy to obtain, and why it's my favorite. I can easily get it, and I'm the only one that's able to use this beautiful power armor, unless the settler decides to steal it again, but other than that, it's all mine, and it's beautiful. And the other power armor I pair with this one is the Hellcat power armor. Both are by the same mod author, so newer minds know exactly what they're doing. This mod though isn't so easy to obtain unlike the T65, because this one is being worn by a gunner at their base. So to get this, you have 2 options. You can either steal the fusion core without being seen and make them get out of the power armor and then jump in, which is pretty much impossible, or you could just Go the easy route and kill everything in your way and grab the parts, then put it on another power frame. But this is worth it. These two power armors are pretty much the only reason I ever even use power armor, since they make the game feel like it's on easy mode, and I prefer the suffer sometimes. But because I like to live in style, I use these sometimes. And now that we're done with the armor and power armor, we can actually start talking about weapon mods, which is usually the biggest download and what eat all your download space. So I'll try and keep this small. Well, this isn't a full-on weapon, but this mod is called Attachment Pack, providing well over 400 brand new attachments for you to add into your game with this download. But I mean, it is 100 megabytes, but this is completely immersive and game-changing. It is well worth it in my opinion. These attachments can be applied at a workbench as well as found in a world when enemies drop weapons. The mod has basically become a part of my mod list that I will never be removing if I'm being honest, and if I forget to download it, I'll notice instantly. Just simply for the fact that I got tired of having the same attachments on every gun, but now I can mix and match and pretty much find the best combo because some are better than others. The main weapon mod that I always end up using is called Zenit REDUX. This one is also 100 megabytes, but it also has 3 assault rifles to your game that aren't nearly impossible to get. You just need an assault rifle and about 1,000 caps depending on the rifle version. And also this mod isn't injected into the level list, so that leaves it just for you, and the main reason why I use it, because I like to keep the cool stuff to myself. But the best part is that this gun is far from overpowered, unless you use eco to boost the damage to about 500%, and the animations on these are chef's kiss. I always end up downloading this mod no matter how many times I redo my mod list, which is quite a lot. But the one thing I do want to mention though is that the recoil on these are a bit crazy, especially when you first get it, until you get to a higher level. And also one more thing, some of the scopes that come with this mod does require see-through scopes, but 99% of people are already using those, so I kind of figured that would be obvious. And of course you need a pistol to match with the assault rifles, and for that I used the Beretta M9 FS. It's a fairly older mod, but still working perfectly, especially since it just updated recently, on PC at least. This pistol reminds me of the Deliverer, which is why I figured it would fit into vanilla Fallout 4 without me having to cope, even though it is a bit tactical. This gun though is perfectly balanced for Fallout 4, doing more than a 10mm pistol but less than most legendaries. Unless of course you give it its own legendary with the legendary equipment Overhaul, then it can become your main or secondary weapon throughout the entire game. As you can see, the entire list kinda just ties itself together with these mods. And honestly, that was pretty much it for today's video. I could have included a lot more mods if I wanted to, but I tried to keep this at least so that Xbox could download most of these while sacrificing a few. So let me know what you thought down below in the comments, but on your way scrolling down there to trash me, make sure you at least hit that like button. But as of right now, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.